Hi folks, my name is Nicole Turner. I am a server at a restaurant here in Kimberly City. I just wanted to take a moment and tell you guys about an incident that took place here on June 18th. We had a customer come in the restaurant and ask to be seated. We seated them outside and they let us know that they had more people joining them, that they just wanted to order their drinks and then get their food whenever the rest of their guests arrived. So we got them their drinks and went on about serving our other tables. I had a server taking care of them. She had made a couple comments throughout the night about how the customer was unhappy. Service industry, we get that a lot. We kind of just brush it off and go on about our night. It wasn't until about an hour and 15 minutes into it, the customer had already got their food. They were just finishing up. And he came inside, kind of grabbed me on the shoulders and spun me around and asked to talk to a manager. I let him know that we didn't have a manager available at that time. I was kind of handling the front of the house stuff, and then asked him what I could do for him. He proceeded to tell me that the service here is terrible, put his hands on my shoulder kind of like this and said, "But you know that." I just pushed him away and I said, "I'm sorry, sir. Could you kind of tell me what happened?" And he said, "Well, first off, your server is terrible." Again, put his hands on me and said, "But you know that." I brushed him away again. And he said that the food time was long, but we told him that, the food time was long because you wanted to wait for your guests to arrive. And then he goes, look at that." Put his hands on me for the fourth time and said, "Look what happens. She sees I'm in here talking to you and she runs out to the table." And I said, "Well, sir, that is her table. She's going to check on it." But I wasn't so nice because the fourth time you put your hands on me, I'm not so nice. I kind of shoved him away and told him if he put his hands on me again that, I'm not going to be very nice. He then told me I needed to handle the situation. So he went back outside. I went back to the back to talk to the person in charge, kind of let them know the situation. We decided that we would give the customers a discount. A bad experience, it happens, but we do want you to come back. So I got his bill ready, discounted it, took it out to him, and I apologize for, any inconvenience that may have happened. And told him that I took $75 off of his bill. And he said that he's not looking for charity. And I said, "Well, sir, you told me to handle it. I'm handling it." And I walked away to my table, which was just down the way from there. And the customers at my table were like, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "No, just another unhappy customer. We get them in here all, they're everywhere." And they said, "No, that's Eric Greitens. He's running for governor." And I was just like, "No, surely not." So as the night kind of went on, I kind of paid attention more, and I noticed that they had "Vote for Eric" all over their shirts. And I was like, well, okay. So I went back in, and I was actually putting in another customer's order when Mr. Greitens then approached me again. I had my back to him, and he started yelling again before he even got to me. And he's like, "I need this taken care of. She hasn't been out there, and I want to pay my bill and go." So I took his card and I ran it, and again, it was Mr. Greitens. He was then complaining again about how everything was so terrible and how this is just a horrible place and he had never come back. And I was just apologizing when he actually had some guests that he was with approach and apologize for his behavior. And the gentleman that was with him was actually really nice, said, "I'm really sorry. Your service, the food was incredible. Your server was great. Have a good night." And they left. I have been in the service industry for a long time. There are always customers that will yell and complain about things that are not in a server's control. I have hardly ever had someone actually put their hands on me while yelling and complaining. When this does happen, it comes from a certain type of person. In all honesty, I didn't know who this man was until after the incident, because I'm not a very political person. But I do think this is a horrible way for a man to act, let alone someone that is running for governor. If someone is running for the highest office in the state, the public needs to be aware of incidents like this. What happened that night was completely out of my control and the server's control. I had went back and forth with my husband about posting this, and I think this is the right thing to do. The truth needs to be heard about Eric Greitens, and everyone needs to know that this guy is running for governor, and you really need to think about that before you vote for him.